Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. It is your favorite podcast, Keeping It Rio. And I am very happy today with my special guest, all the way live from the world headquarters of Business 411 in sunny Miami. I hope it's sunny at least. We've got Miss Kelley Hernandez with us today. Kelley, welcome to Keeping It Rio. How are you today?
Awesome. Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and talk to you today about everything we have going on at Business 411.
I am excited to talk about it as well, and I have been for the last probably 5 weeks or so. This is an amazing company, and I'm super, super excited to be a part of it. And I wanted to have you on the show today to talk about something specific that we do have coming up here in a couple weeks. You can see here, hopefully, back on my screen. We're going to talk a little bit about the 411 Roofing Systems 2-day class, which is going to be in Fort Lauderdale, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be on May 18th and 19th. And I am extremely excited about it. I've got a couple of my friends already signed up, ready to go. I'm going to be there, and I can't wait for that. And I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about the event. I'm still pretty new, and you have been with Business 411. I'm thinking you're like the second person in existence, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
person
since the very early days, you've
Mhm.
seen the entire evolution of the company to this point, and you've got firsthand experience with it. So let's talk a little bit about the event. What exactly is the 411 Roofing Systems class?
Yeah. So the 411 Roofing Systems class is a class that we developed for owners and managers to come from across the country to sit with us for 2 days and really, finally take the time to just dive into their processes and work out all the kinks so that when they return, they have all the tools that they need to just have an incredible year, have more processes, more accountability for their whole team. And we deliver that through the presentations that we'll be doing and also the tools that they're going to like physically take home with them and the knowledge that they take home with them to execute.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So let's talk a little bit about that. First and foremost, let's kind of start with, what is the SOP and how has this thing developed over the course of time? And, tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I actually have a copy here. So this is the actual workbook that we go through in the class. It's a lot of pages. I'll just flip to a random one here to see how in-depth a lot of these flowcharts are and everything that we have. So the whole class is based around this SOP, and a lot of people ask us, well, how did you make this? You guys aren't a roofing company. How'd you do it? And the honest truth is it's by talking to hundreds of roofing companies. Back in the early days of Business 411, our owner, Elizabeth Casadia, what she was doing a lot was one-on-one consultations. It started out first as just, free calls just to help understand their business model and how, as Business 411s, how some of our products can fit into that, how a lot of our vendor affiliates and stuff can fit into that as well. And that's something Liz was just doing to, build a name in the industry. And it kept snowballing from those free calls to maybe like a paid meeting, a couple paid Zoom meetings to work on business planning and organization because, we have that background in organization and technology and process and roofing. And it just kept snowballing from that to the point where Liz was flying out, once a week for months to different roofing companies across the US, ranging from ones that are just doing a couple million looking to scale, or ones that have really blown up, gotten to 20 million, or just having little hiccups and they need more structure and organization. And what she learned was that all these different size companies all across the country were having the same types of issues. And it was all about not having a documented process. Because once you have your process documented, then you're able to have more accountability. You can physically see where the drop off is because our people, going through their checklist, things like that. All that stuff really starts to happen and starts to evolve once you have it first documented, and then you can work off of it. So that's what really this class is all about, is taking this documented process that we've written from, learning from hundreds of companies and, delivering that content to the contractors that are going to come to the class and helping them kind of evolve their current process, see where they're missing certain steps that are going to relieve some of those stresses and things that are holding them back from getting to the next couple million.
Yeah, what an amazing concept this is. One, it's something that our industry has been desperately needing for a long time. And in just my brief period of time that I've been with Business 411, that has been the biggest thing that's really impacted me is I didn't recognize the depth of what we have, available to help people in the roofing industry. And what I really like about what you just said there, Kelley, is that Liz has worked with startups, smaller companies all the way up to larger scale companies. Everybody in between has given input and has helped her develop this system. And I remember the story she told me when she was on the podcast where, she was sitting at home on her desk that she got at Amazon and was just putting
Yeah.
this stuff together. And it was the most impressive thing because I didn't understand the depth of it, like I said. But once I started looking at this, it was like, wow, this really does work for just about anybody that's in the roofing industry, that owns a company, that wants to scale, that wants to maintain, that wants to just make sure that they're doing things as efficiently as possible. Um, Let me ask about the event itself now. It's 2 days. It's in Fort Lauderdale, obviously. With this event ticket, what exactly are our clients going to receive?
Yeah, so with the event ticket, that includes seats for two people on your team. So we usually recommend the owner to come and probably like an operations manager, office manager, whoever's kind of like their right hand in training and overseeing staff and things like that. That's going to be the best thing. And then the ticket's going to include our 2 days of lessons and community as well. We go through the book together. They're going to get the roofing process manual. They're going to get a physical and digital copy. They're also going to get what we kind of like was a special treat that we did in the first one, and we want to bring it back for this one too, is we're actually going to do market research for the clients that sign up. And this is something that is usually very expensive that you would have to hire a marketing firm to do for you. See kind of the demographics in your area, get a lot of that information. But we decided that's a big part of ironing out your process too, is knowing who you're selling to. So we have a whole thick packet that they're going to get that's super customized to them in their area. And then they're also going to get a small marketing report as well, just kind of seeing from an outsider's perspective on what's their digital footprint. So we're going to give them all those things up front that we'll go through with them. That's going to help them be more well-rounded in organizing their process. And then the class itself is 2 days of just great content. We break down the process by having other owners in the room that are all facing the same issues. There's a big community aspect of it that I was actually surprised like how amazing that was the first time we did the class in February. We had some people talking about small issues that they might have with communications between, the in-house team and the outside sales team, and so many companies were just that were even operating in similar neighboring markets and stuff were just saying, hey, this is how I do it, this solved my issue. People learning from each other. That's what's great about having a bunch of owners in the room and having like open conversations during this training, is that you're really going to solve your process issues. So we're getting that community in it. We also do a really fun happy hour the first night at the hotel that it's going to be at, where everyone gets to network and hang out. Our whole Business 411 team comes, so they get to meet a lot of the staff that they, if it's a client that's working with us for a while, they get to meet all those people they've been emailing and Zooming with over the last couple of years. So a lot of great content. Basically, we try to really stuff everything in there so that when these companies go back home and start integrating this with their team, they have everything they need to keep going.
Awesome. I'm so pumped up. It's a few weeks away still, but I'm beyond excited to be there. I think the coolest part about this is, like we said, it varies as far as who who can utilize this and who can take advantage of it. But the coolest aspect of the entire thing, I think, is just how easily adaptable it is for everybody. And I think that was probably the goal when this whole thing was being developed was, you can take any company and literally just put this in and start implementing it immediately. Is that pretty much what the thought process was behind that? And really the purpose for having the live event is to make sure that people understand everything and that they can go through and actually make it happen, right?
100%. And we've done different versions of this class before. we've done where we just, sell the manual outright, which a lot of people get value from. We used to do a Zoom class based off of it, which was great. But so far, the best feedback and the best kind of people that said they were implement this the best was from the 2-day in-person class, because that's when you're there, you're present. And when we spend 2 days just focusing all about your process, putting that time in is really going to help you improve it. And the biggest thing, and it's so simple, and so many people just, they don't have the time for it. I'm a business owner as well, and I struggle with this. It's just documenting what you do every day, what everyone's supposed to do, what standards do you have, just so that it can continue to be passed along. Because a lot of roofing companies, even yourself, you were a salesperson for a long time and then moved over to ownership and leading a team. That has so many benefits to it, having that sales mentality and everything, but it doesn't give you the same tools to know how to document all the processes for everything going on in the company. You don't have a lot of those assets and tools to really narrow down your process, and even though it in your head, everything you're supposed to do, documenting it and following those processes like a whole different animal for sure.
It really is. And I'll be honest with you, this is something that I didn't know about. Like I said, when I was on the contracting side, Business 401 is a company that I've known of, but honestly, I didn't really understand exactly what it was. And now that I've gotten myself really involved and have just kind of dived in and looked at all the stuff that's available, I wish I would have had this. And I keep saying that to so many of my friends. I wish I would have had this, because like you say, Kelley, it's easy to say, yeah, I know what to do. I'm going to order the materials. I'm going to order the crew. I'm going to make sure the permits are pulled. I'm going to make sure this is done. But there's only so much you can do by yourself with that in your mind. And when you want to start expanding and you've got different roles for different people, this is well defined already. It's not something that the owners are going to have to sit down and start thinking, okay, at what point in our growth do we need to add this position? Or at what point do we need to think about doing these things? Fully ready to go. If I would have had this 5-6 years ago, my life would have been a lot smoother probably, but it wouldn't have brought me to where I'm at. So I guess indirectly, I'm grateful that I didn't have it at that point. But for all my friends that are in the industry, I cannot impress upon you guys enough just how high level this is. I'm absolutely amazed. I'll be one of the first to admit, and this is kind of a weird thing to admit, but I'm one of those roofing guys who's been in this for a long time, like I said, and you see what people are doing, but if you think you're doing all right on your own, you don't really look at too many other options, and you don't think of, well, hey, maybe I should reach out and try to get some help. But as soon as I saw this, it was like, okay, my responsibility now to this industry and to all my friends is to show you guys that Elizabeth has built the premier. There's anything even closely like it in this industry. And I'm so shocked by how amazing, how awesome it is, because I really didn't know. I didn't know that she'd been doing all that stuff. And she's literally given the blueprint to make this complete transformation for anybody from, small to medium to large companies. And it's absolutely incredible. We get down to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to have the 2-day event. What kind of stuff is going to really, be covered in the manual? I know the manual is everything really, but what is everything? I can sit here and tell everybody, yeah, it's everything, but what exactly is everything?
Yeah, I can even present on here some pages from the manual. I think that's going to be really helpful. Let me see.
You're way smarter than I am, because I don't know how to do that. So you have full permission.
We're not hiding anything. I'm happy to show people, what we're working on for sure. Let me see.
Real quick, while you're looking at that real quick and getting set up, I do want to mention that Kelley did just put out one of the most amazing pieces of content I've ever seen, which was the solar manual. If you're a solar roofing contractor, if you're a solar contractor, if you're looking to do solar, she just put out the premier piece of training material in this industry. So that's just something I wanted to throw in there. That's something you should definitely be very proud of.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm super proud of all of our manuals. Our team really killed it. And I'm sure a lot of people watching probably have our manual. We have, our residential one, at least we have like over 1,000 roofing contractors using it, in all their onboarding. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, changing the industry for sure. That's something that I am so excited about. And I don't know, can you add that or do I need to add it on? I think I can do it.
I'm not sure.
So let's see what you got. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit add to stream. There we go. What's up?
Awesome. So I just want to like show a little bit about what's in the manual. So you can see over here, there's 156 pages of content. We're actually even making some updates to this one before the next class. So there could even be more pages added to it. And a lot of people ask us like, well, what's in this manual? What's a part of this class that I don't already have? And my response is usually, you have all this information as an owner. You have it all. It's just in your head. What we did was put it on paper and in a way that your team can actually be more accountable and really see what each process is supposed to be. Because as an owner, it's a waste of your time to go and verbally tell everyone what they need to be doing and try to make, these types of flowcharts. To be honest, like, as an owner, it is important to have them. So that's why we made it for them. So now you can just focus on evolving the process even more. So, like I loved what you said, it's a blueprint to success. And they're going to be able to take this and do incredible things with it. I've seen a lot of people purchase this book from us and take it to a whole other level. So that's really like our goal with it. But I just want to show a quick page that kind of sums up a lot of the content in here. We go over a lot of the different departments in a roofing company, but what people are always blown away by is actually the last section of the book, which is all about process and procedure. And it's like the last 100 pages, and it goes through all the steps here. So I'll kind of zoom in a little bit so we can take a better look. But, most of the steps a roofing company goes through include lead intake, qualifying, scheduling appointments, the sales process. If they do insurance in-house or with a PA, we have the process for that. And then what a lot of people have a major issue with, which is production, which again, they have all the information in their head of how things need to go. But a lot of the time that people lose profits on jobs or, have other issues going on with materials, things like that, it's all within the production stage and not getting things set up exactly how they need to be. So we've outlined pretty much every step in the process and what each member of the team needs to do to get it to the next level. So this is kind of a good, I would say, like table of contents for a lot of what we talk about. And I'll even show like some example pages too. So Chuck, I'll even ask you, when you were operating your company, what were some of like the major headaches or even that you hear from some people about their process and things that they want, to make more smoother?
Well, for sure, consistency is the number one thing that I've been hearing from everybody. It's like, what's your biggest issue? We're just not consistent. We bring on new sales reps and our training is not consistent. They don't understand exactly what the responsibilities are. We've got office staff that maybe doesn't quite understand everything that's going on as well. I think consistency and just like you said, having something written down that you can look at and say, okay, this is how this works, is so much better than just kind of winging it. And a lot of us in the roofing industry, we're we're crazy, and that's how we do things. We just kind of wing it, and we think that our way is the best. And like I said before, if I would have had all this, I think I would have had a lot more profitable jobs. I would have had a lot less frustration, my anger, and all those things that happen with roofing company owners on any given day would have probably been minimized a lot. So that's really been the biggest thing, is just, hey, this is what it needs to be. And here's what you're supposed to be doing. So the consistency is the biggest thing for sure.
Yeah. Consistency is most important. By having a documented process, that's how you stay consistent. People have to really follow each step of the process. You'll see where your drop off is. You'll see where the improvements need to be made. But at least having, that blueprint, that foundation is going to help a lot. So I'll kind of show you how we organize it, even for something as simple as lead intake. So imagine having this for someone that is transitioning into the role of maybe customer service or office manager. or whoever in your company is going to be answering the phone a lot, or you're hiring a new person for it. Being able to train effectively and having them really understand their role is just going to make them that much more successful, and having something that they can refer back to instead of asking you, the same questions over and over is just going to make things so much more efficient for both people, the trainee and the trainer. So, and this is like a great example, right? So at the top, we always have what is the major process. So the major process that we're talking about in this section is all about leads. What do we do with our new business? And then the smaller steps and stages are going to be the lead intake. How do we kind of onboard someone that's calling in? What information do we need to get for them? We have qualifying, which is, asking a couple pre-qualifying questions on that first call to have a better understanding of what the client's looking for. Answering a few little questions like that can actually completely change the sales experience. If you find out from someone right off the bat that the leak is actually pretty urgent, maybe it's a roof leak that is getting into one of their children's rooms, and having that same level of urgency as the client and making sure that's prevalent in how you speak to them are going to make them feel like, oh, this person really is understanding my needs. They're going out of their way to help me. And that's going to form a stronger relationship, right? So getting some more information like that, rep assignment, making sure that they have what they need to actually go out to the property, and then scheduling the appointment and getting them onboarded and expectations set up correctly of what's going to happen next in the process. And then we have the objective. So why do we do these things? What's the purpose behind what we do? I always found in training in any position, if someone just tells me, hey, Kelley, you need to go out and do this on every job, so we can use a real example like, why Kelley, when you answer the phone, just always make sure you ask them where did they hear about us. And for me, I'm like, okay, I'll ask them that, but maybe I'll forget, whatever. But if I really understand the purpose of it, hey, we asked this question because it's a good indicator of where they came from. If they're coming from maybe an ad that they saw from us or something more urgent or a referral, that's actually really important information that we need to notate on their account for our own marketing efforts, and also to make sure that, we're thanking that person that sent them over or getting more background information in that way. So a lot of the objectives is super important. And then I'll kind of skip around so we can go to more specific details. So this page is actually getting specifically into lead intake. So we talk about the objectives in here. So the objectives of lead intake, for a roofing company would be, it's the first contact with the company. It needs to be a great customer service experience. I mean, I've called so many roofing companies and I've called so many service companies in the past that they just don't answer.
Oh, that is so prevalent. Yeah. It's insane, really, if you think about that, but so true. Most people just, for whatever reason, don't understand the importance of answering the phone, and I'll never understand that, but it is what it is.
They don't answer, or, what the person answering the phone thinks is, oh, I just have to schedule this person for an appointment. That's my goal, which is, yes, definitely a goal of a call in. But to take it to the next level, if you're a company that, prides yourself on a great customer experience, which is what we hear from a lot of roofing companies, we'll show them in the first call. That's how you kind of prove it. So making sure that whoever you're training really understands that lead intake is not just about booking an appointment. It's about understanding, like, what are they calling in about, conveying a sense of urgency, about what they're calling in about, getting all the necessary onboarding information so that we don't need to ask them the same thing like 4 or 5 times. That just makes us look bad to continue to ask for the address when it wasn't something that was recorded, on the first call, or ask some of that background information. All of that's super important. And you can see here that we, go through the objectives with them, and then we actually give them an intake checklist. So these are the types of questions that, they don't need to read like a laundry list when they're on that call, but they need to make sure are incorporated, while they're connecting with the customer to get all this information. It's really something that's not, once they have it in front of them and they start working on it and they can refer back to it and make sure they always get all this information, it's just going to start the process so much easier, so much smoother. And we have like this level of detail for every single step. I'll kind of go through some of the pages here so you guys can see what we talk about, and qualifying as well. So getting some more information like during that first call, once we kind of build a rapport with them and stuff, is what's their plan for the property? Okay, they're calling in because they noticed that their roof's, leaking, or maybe there's an issue, or there was a storm, or whatever the issue is. Someone told them that they need to get a new roof. They're getting some quotes. Well, what's your plan with the property? If we understand that their plan is that they just want to fix it up to sell, we understand the type of customer that is, and how we should really move forward with them to make sure that we close a lot simpler versus someone that is calling in about storm damage or something along those lines. These are all types of scenarios that should be handled a little bit differently on the sales side. So just getting like that kind of information and already thinking about some of those things early on, that this might be the initial call with the sales rep or with the customer service person, just understanding the client type is just going to go a long way with, really taking that job to the next level and closing it and making sure things are running great and smoothly on production, and really ultimately making sure that all the profit that you can get on the job, you're able to get, and the client gets the best experience that they deserve.
Yeah, I think the experience is the most important. And like you say, that first line is going to be the most important for the homeowner, for the client, whoever it may be. And you've got to have someone that understands what they're trying to do, and they have to be pleasant about it as well. It's got to be something where that first contact makes the homeowner just excited about the opportunity. And when your sales rep gets out there, they've got a great idea of what exactly they're supposed to be trying to do, what their goal is. And it saves a lot of time, because there's nothing worse. And in my career, I've seen this so many times. A sales rep will come out and not even have any idea what's going on. And it's like, oh, well, we're going to get up on the roof. I'll give you an example real quick. This is one I just did not that long ago, maybe 6-7 months ago here in San Antonio. I went to meet a homeowner, and the homeowner I was the third person, I think, or fourth that they had met. And the homeowner literally just told me, you're the only person that asked me what I needed or what I was looking to accomplish with this meeting. Every other person that was there got up on the roof. One of them actually came down and said, I have great news. You don't need a new roof. There's no damage. Mm-hmm. Well, I understood, Kelley, the reason why that got called was because she wanted to put a metal roof on her house. It had nothing to do with storm damage. It had nothing to do with any of that. And that individual just completely lost the opportunity because they were completely unprepared, didn't have even a rough idea what they were there for. And, there's three buying motives. It's a want, a need, or it's the right thing to do. And that's the basics of selling. And I think sometimes those things, because whether they hire staff that's maybe not experienced or just doesn't understand our industry, that's a huge, huge, huge problem. And I think a lot of people don't have any idea how much business they lose by simply just, not asking the right questions or wasting people's time. So 100%. I absolutely love this. And I guarantee this was probably every single company that Liz talked to said the same thing. This is the most important aspect of business. So that's how we get started with the event. And as we continue to roll, like you said, we're going to do the entire process of the entire, roofing systems, everything in place. And the cool thing I think as well about this, like you said, was the market research. Mm-hmm. And this really hit me hard, because I thought, you know what? Same deal. There's so many people that are just driving around town trying to find damage or trying to find something that they can, maybe help somebody with. And then there are people that understand exactly who their targets are, exactly how they're supposed to go about finding them, exactly what to do when they do find them. And goodness, game changer once again. So this is all so good. I am just, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the class too. We got such great feedback the first time. You can drop the link, I guess, when we post this, with the landing page that has tons of testimonial videos of what a lot of owners got out of the class. And we had a huge mix of sizes. We had people that were, in their first year of business, and then we had people that were, in their 10th year of business, wanting to, work on their process a lot more and get to the next level of growth and everything. And I flipped through a couple more pages of the book just to show everyone how in depth we really try to be with this. And I really love what you said, Chuck, actually, that people just don't understand the money that they're leaving on the table and the opportunities that they're missing by not just incorporating a couple little things into their process. And these are things that in your head. A lot of owners understand that they need to be doing certain things in their process to be more successful, to be more profitable, things like that. But being able to communicate that and give not just the task, but the objective and where it fits into the process is just going to take things to a whole new level for them. And yeah, like I was saying before, with all the tools that we try to give them, we just our goal, like for me, we fail if they're not able to go take this home and implement it right away. For me, that's a failure. So that's why every single thing we've done to set up this class and the way that we set this class up, the tools that we give them, the format of having people in there in person present, it's all because my goal is for them to take this home and be able to start running with it right away.
Absolutely. I just took that off the screen for a second there, but yeah, this is so high level and it can help everybody. I love what you just said about the group that was there, brand new companies with very little experience, experienced companies, all in the same room. Everybody is there with a common purpose, which is to improve themselves and become more effective, more efficient. How cool is it though that everybody in the room feels like they belong there, number one, regardless of the size. And let me ask you just a little bit about the atmosphere. I've been to a lot of trainings. I've been to a lot of events. I've been to pretty much everything in this industry. And sometimes you get there and it's like, okay, here we are, guys. We're going to start just going through this. And it's like, okay, so step one is going to be, you have to answer the phone. Step two is going to be, you have to say hello. And it just gets so boring, What kind of a atmosphere are we going to be bringing? What kind of energy level? Is this something that people are just going to be like jacked up when they're done? Nobody's going to fall asleep at our event, right?
No, everyone was so, just so excited to be there. And, if anyone that's listening, knows her, has met Liz before, she's going to bring the energy the whole time. And she's not going to let you be bored, and this content, it's everything that we had people come open the books and we're just like stunned by the amount of detail and the amount of time they know that we put into this, that we wanted to give them to help their company be more successful. And the atmosphere, it comes from us just being super excited to work on this with them, and Liz especially being super excited to have this class where we really feel like we're making a difference for these companies. But even with the people that were there, my favorite thing that I heard was from a couple people that were talking were from Texas, so similar neighboring markets, things like that. And someone, asked, that was just listening in, they were like, oh, thank you for sharing that, even though, we're in the same area and stuff like that. And then the other owner said, well, I don't mind sharing this with you. I know that, we're considered like competition, I don't mind sharing it with you because you're here. You're at this class specifically because you want to be a better company and you want to be a better company owner and you want to run a company that's going to benefit, our consumers more. So I want to share this information with you. I want to learn these things like you because you're like dedicated to raising the bar in our area. And I thought that was pretty amazing, because he saw the value of people wanting to be there, or people that really want to be different in this industry and make a really good name for contractors, instead of other people that are more in it for just get in, make a bunch of sales, we figure it out as we go, things like that. But someone that was like genuinely wanting to improve their company and their culture and the accountability in their organization and just have all their employees make more money essentially if the company is doing better. So I thought that was really cool. And that was a great mindset. And that's the mindset that we really want everyone there to have, for sure.
Yeah, that to me is the most beautiful thing about what's going on in our industry right now is I've seen a huge influx of new people coming in. And by new, I mean like over the last 10 years or so. And as newer people are starting to come in, some of the older ones are starting to, disappear. And the simple fact is right now is the best time to be in this industry because there are so many people that are willing to help with any problem. I get phone calls all the time from people all over the country. And it's just like, hey, Chuck, what would you do in this situation? Or my homeowner's having a hard time understanding this. What should I tell them? And I've always been happy to help people for that same reason. If I can help make you a little bit better and you can serve our industry better, and maybe you can teach someone else what we learn here, we're going to be better. And that whole competition thing, I've been on both sides. I've been in places where it's like, you have to literally hate everybody in the entire community that's not you, and you have to go out and talk bad about everybody, and you have to do all this. And then on the other side, it's like, you know what, we're all in this together, and let's just try to make this industry as good as we can, because the perception of the industry has been terrible forever. And that's an earned perception. I'm going to be the first one to say. And there are so many people in the industry that I think probably don't mean to be bad like they are, but they just don't know. And, if you're willing to invest in yourself and your company and your time to come out and be better, you can't help but improve. And then you're going to build those relationships as well with all those other people in the room. And to me, that in itself is worth the price of admission, right? So let's kind of talk about the price of admission. And first, before we do, I want to talk about everything again and kind of recap exactly what we're going to get here. The physical copy of the SOP, which if it's purchased individually is about $2,500, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and there's, this is for two people, right? The event. So is there going to be 2 books for each?
Yes, everyone's going to get physical. Everything's going to be physical and digital as well. So in the class, they're going to get physical copies of the SOP. And these also have like worksheets and stuff. People saw a little bit in there, but we have worksheets as we go through that go along with the presentation. So, they're able to make notes and really follow along with what we're talking about to really absorb the most information that they can about implementation and things like that. Yes, both people are going to get physical copies. We also send a branded digital copy after the class. So they're going to have their digital one that they can, print, make copies of, or we can print for them, and they can start handing out to the team or omit different sections depending on what team member is going to get it. And they're going to get just all those resources for sure.
So, okay, we've just hit one thing that they're going to get. And already this has exceeded the value of what this purchase price is going to be, or I like to call it an investment. It's not a purchase, it's an investment. The next thing they're going to get is a fully detailed market research report. And that's going to be, like you said, that in itself is, I don't even know. I've never done one of those, but I'm guessing it's probably at least $2,500. So now we've got a couple things, and we're sitting at like 5,000 plus in value already. The networking opportunity with all the different people, to me, you can't put a price on that. That's the most value that you can get in any event that you go to. I've been to every one of the events, and I can honestly say that the people that I've met in those events have been far more beneficial to me than any of the content, which this is not going to be the case here, but just, being able to talk to people, being able to say, hey, we met at this event and now we're going to be friends, and people from all over the country can help each other out and network and build from that. So that right there is pretty darn good. What else are we going to be getting? Are there going to be any surprises? I know that's kind of a stupid question, because what kind of a surprise would it be if we told you? But there are going to be a few other things that are going to be involved in this as well, from what I understand. So now let's look at this. Okay, we've got a huge amount of stuff that we're going to do. And I've been telling my clients and prospects that I would like to come visit, this is going to be basically the profit for one good residential roof. Okay. Yeah. So tell our fans a little bit about, what is the investment in our 2-day class? Because I think it's going to be shocking.
For sure. Yeah. The 2-day class, with everything that we talked about, all the materials that we're going to be giving out, all the, extra events we're going to be doing there as well, is just $5,000. It's a one-time payment. They get to come to the class. It's 2 days of being in South Florida, which at this time of the year is
pretty nice. Good. Take it. Yep.
We always try to have the venue in Fort Lauderdale, because then, and it's on a Thursday, Friday. So we encourage people to come down. Roofar is also doing an event the day before in the same area. So they can come to the Roofar event. They can come to our event. And then Saturday, Sunday, they can go to the beach, because we're planning on having it at a hotel that's right there in Fort Lauderdale, that they can just go hang out, have a great time, unwind a little bit after, all the effort they just put into organizing their company and everything, and just have a nice time, and then go back super refreshed, ready to implement.
Yep, I absolutely love that. So when I break this down, okay, for two people over the course of 2 days, basically you're looking per person at $1,250
Mhm.
each. I have been to many events in this industry where I've spent way more than that and I have gotten absolutely nothing. And I've been able to take nothing back with me other than some good memories. That to me is the most incredible thing. Okay, $1,250 per person per day is your expense. And like there's nothing more valuable than this in our industry. That investment is going to equate to millions of dollars in growth and development in your company. It's going to help cut out a lot of the fat stuff as well that you're maybe overspending on. I don't see any reason that could be logical in any human being's mind as to why this would be a no-brainer or why they wouldn't have, signed up for it already. So I think that this is definitely the most valuable training event. It's the most valuable networking event because of the people that are going to be there and because of the size of the room. And that's something I wanted to mention as well,
Yeah,
because it's not one of these events where you're going to have 10,000 people trying to, do whatever. I
yeah,
was at IRE and I was stuck in line for like 3 hours just to get in a couple weeks
yeah.
ago.
This is a
Um,
class that I think maximum we try to have, 20 companies.
yeah,
So it's not, we're not trying to get a million people in the door, because for this type of content, like I was mentioning before, what our goal is to make sure that we're really delivering it and helping people implement it in the most successful way. And for us, that's just having a more intimate event where we can really work one-on-one with a lot of companies at once. They can work with each other and really everyone gets the most out of it and they feel like they really, get their money's worth. We're all about presentation and delivery and being easily implement what we're teaching, or else really what's the point? It's just taking money from people, and that's not what we want to do. We really want to have this investment that they make into this class be the best investment they made in their business in years. And we want to make sure that we deliver that for sure.
yep, we're going to deliver it 100% and then probably another 50 on top of that. So
Yeah.
I am super, super excited. I can't wait. This is going to be the first time I've gone to a Business 411 event. It's going to be the first time I'm meeting a lot of the people on the team in person. So I'm super pumped. And like I said, I've gotten a few of my friends already signed up, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
They're extremely high level individuals. And it's kind of cool because those are the people I like to work with. I called up and this is kind of a cool story. I'll share it real quick. The first client that I signed up for our 2-day event was Eastern Roof Technologies in Mooresville, North Carolina. And I talk about building relationships, and that's really what my goal is with Business 411. I've reached out to a ton of people that are maybe on a little bit smaller or newer scale in the industry, and I'm telling them, look, I want to work with you guys for the next 20 years. Uh-oh, I lost Kelley, but that's okay. I want to work with them for the next 20 years. And I want to change my background real quick. There we go. I want to build those relationships. And so Eastern Roof Technologies was a great company. They were a client of mine when I was a branch manager of a roofing supply company in Charlotte, North Carolina, 12 years ago. And I hadn't seen these folks in well over a decade. We were talking online. They saw what we were doing here at Business 411 and decided that this was the best value. And when we did our consultation, I wasn't even thinking in those terms. I was thinking more, training guides and things like that, because this is an established company that's been around over a decade and has been successful. But they were immediately impressed with the value, saw what this was, and signed up that day. And look, check it out. I got Kelley. She's back. It's all good. I was like singing your praises big time in your absence there.
Nice.
But I was telling the story about Eastern Roof Technologies, and they were a client of mine when I was a branch manager of a roofing supply company 12 years ago in Charlotte. I had not seen these folks in over a decade, but it was one of those things where I want to build relationships. And that's just a prime example of the kind of person I am. I haven't seen or spoken to them in over 10 years. We linked up and did a call because they saw what was going on with me online, and they signed up for it immediately because they saw the value and understood. And this is a company that's been around for well over a decade. So I think that's pretty awesome. And I want to build some more of those as we go as well. So that's my main goal with Business 411. I want to try and help as many people see what the company is about, for one, because we have definitely got a huge customer base already. But if you really look on the grand scheme of things, it's just kind of scratching the surface for our industry. And that to me is going to be the coolest thing. But going down there and having as many people in that room as we can that are like-minded is really the goal. And I think we're going to pack it out. It's going to be the most fun thing. I'm going to be there. I'm probably going to do like a Dave Carroll thing, how at the all the shows, Dave Carroll like gets everybody one morning to go out and do like a run or something.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah, so if we're all chilling in the same hotel, we're probably going to go do like the Chuck 5K or something like that. And just to build camaraderie and to have that chemistry, like you said, with a whole room full of people that can become friends for life. And
we really had such a fun time when we had the class in February. Like the last day, it was so fun. We had the happy hour together. Everyone was really getting to know each other. We have a couple of characters in our office that were like so happy to meet some of our clients in person and hang out with them and buy them a bunch of shots and stuff like that. So that was, it was like a super fun time. Really, it's work, but we're trying to make it like something exciting that gets people excited about their business.
Yep. I don't want to go to work because I have to. I want to go to work because I want to go. I get to go, and that's the big thing. Business 4-in-1 has done an amazing job of really promoting that, and I can't wait. So again, this is going to be May 18th and 19th. It's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. We don't have the exact venue lined up just yet, I don't think, but I think there's like 2 or 3 that are in contention, and we're just kind of figuring out which one's the right one.
Yeah, it just depends on the size. But we have 2 that are both like either place that we'll go to. It's going to be great. They're both on the water, and really nice venues. So everyone's going to really love. We're not just like in a little box. We're actually like have nice views, and we're going to decorate really nice and have a lot of fun things going on after hours and stuff. So it'll be a really good time.
Yep. I cannot wait. So ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from Kelley. She is the superstar of Business 4-in-1. She's been through this. She understands it and knows the value to her clients. And we're going to try to do our very best to make sure every single person that attends is ecstatic with it. And when they leave, they're going to give us these testimonials that all the others have. And I've been talking to a lot of people, which went to the last one. And goodness gracious, I'm going to have some video testimonials here in the next couple of days. I'm actually shooting a couple tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people that went and they said, this was the difference maker for our company. We're so glad that we did this. We would have been toiling in obscurity, and we would have probably, really had ourselves in a bad spot had we not made this investment and not gone out there and done it. So I highly encourage everybody that's watching this to sign up. It is a small group, so you've got to do it pretty quick. I say everybody, I mean, Kelley, we know there's millions of people that watch Keepin at Rio. So somebody's not going to make it. This is going to be an exclusive event, and I want to see as many people as humanly possible. So definitely do it. I will put a link down here. If anybody wants to look up any further information on the event, maybe book it online or anything like that, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, we're going to have a link that will be in the bio, or we'll comment it below as well, that they can go check out everything that is involved in the event. We have the show schedule on there so they can see what we're going to be talking about through the days, everything that's included that we talked about, the plan for the event, everything like that. It's going to have all the details. And yeah, we're just super excited to get people in. We have a couple spots left, and we're looking to fill them up, definitely with Chuck's friends, with, listeners of Keeping It Rio for sure. So just let us know if you guys are ready to go, and we're ready to have a great show.
Yep. I cannot wait. So there it is, everybody. We appreciate it. Kelley, thank you so much for taking time. I feel like I probably just cost you your lunch today.
No, not at all.
But you're amazing. I appreciate you. And like I said before, go check out everything that we've got. Business 4-in-1 is definitely next level as far as training, branding, marketing, and everything involved with roofing. So definitely do that. Thank you for everybody watching and supporting Keeping It Rio. I appreciate it. Hope to see everybody in Fort Lauderdale here in a few weeks. And if anybody has questions, you know how to get a hold of us. So thank you guys. Until next time, remember always keep on